Okay, everybody, we're going to go over the plant anatomy notes for just the 4 basic parts of the flowers and, no, wrong, for the 4 parts of the plant and the flowers today. I know you don't have your notes because we are not in our classroom, and I know this is a little bit different than what we're normally doing, but we're just going to try to get through this section, and then once we get back into our class, we can get adjusted to the way we used to be doing our notes together. Also, if you hear any bark noises or snorts, those are my dogs. They are beside me, so just ignore them. They're loud. Alright. You remember you took notes on these 2 sections, so we're just going to go over them together now. Alright, basically there are 4 main parts to the plant, and this diagram is going to show those parts. If you follow my cursor, I'm going to point to those as I call them out. These are the leaves here. The stem is the long vertical part of the plant that runs from the ground up to the sun. The roots are below ground. And then you have the flowers, which they're not always located at the top of the plant. They could be throughout, but for this diagram they are at the top. Alright. The leaves have some pretty important functions. Their main function is to make food, and that's going to be through photosynthesis. That's a long word that just means they make their own food using sunlight and water and gases. The leaves are also the site of gas exchange, and the gas gets exchanged in 2 different ways. Respiration, which is how the plants breathe. Basically, they release oxygen and take in carbon dioxide, and they also release those 2 things and consume those things in photosynthesis. The leaves are also a place where food is stored before it is moved. The tissues of the leaf basically is going to be like the skin of the leaf. So our skin is called our epidermis. The leaf also has an outer skin called epidermis. The waxy part that covers the leaves and the stems is called the cuticle, and basically the function of that is to keep water inside the plant. It is waterproof, so it's sort of like a raincoat or an umbrella for the leaf and the stem. The stomata are these structures here. This is a microscopic view of the leaf, so these are the stomata. And the stomata has a main function, and it's going to open, and it's also going to close to help gases be exchanged coming into the leaf and exiting the leaf. And so the stomata open and close. There are 2 specialized cells located on each side of the stomata, and that's sort of these donut-looking structures here. So if this is the stomata, then these are called the guard cells. The purpose of the guard cells is to decide when the stomata open and closes. So think about a guard or a bouncer at a club. They stand at the doors and they decide when they open and close and what comes in and out of that particular place. It's the same thing for the leaf. So the stomata are sort of like a door, and then the guard cells decide when that door opens and closes. There are a couple other tissues of the leaf. The mesophyll layer, which is inside the leaf, and that's made up of 2 separate layers, which is the palisade mesophyll and the spongy mesophyll. The palisade mesophyll is where photosynthesis takes place, and the spongy part is where the air and chloroplasts are located. And so this is also going to be a site of photosynthesis and gas exchange. But I don't think you have an exam question on the mesophyll layers, but it is just a part of the leaf, so we're going to cover that. Alright, continuing tissues of the leaf. There are vascular bundles, so just like our bodies have veins, and that's how our blood is transported throughout our body, plants are sort of the same way. So you already know that plants have veins because you know the vein patterns, pinnate, palmate, and that helps you to identify the plant. But the veins are a very important part of the leaf because that's how food and water are transported up and down the leaf. There's a phloem and a xylem. And if you remember the song that I taught you, the xylem flows up, the phloem flows down. The xylem flows up, the phloem flows down. So that just tells you what direction those veins move. So logically, if the xylem moves up the plant, it's taking something from the roots up to the top, and that would be water and minerals. Minerals are also found in the ground where the water is. The phloem flows down, so if we know that the food is made in the leaves, something has to transport that down to the rest of the plant, and that's what the phloem does. So xylem flows up, takes water and nutrients from the roots. Phloem flows down, takes food to the rest of the plant from the leaves. This is a diagram showing you the cuticle, which is the waxy outer layer of the epidermis, showing you the spongy mesophyll. This is where the chloroplasts are located, which makes chlorophyll, which makes plants green. This is a stomata, and these are the guard cells. This is a vascular bundle with xylem and phloem. Now if we look at the outside part of the leaf, the petiole is the little tiny stalk that connects the leaf to the stem of the plant, and we'll look at what that is in just a minute in a picture. The blade is the large flat part of the leaf, so that's the leaf surface, and the midrib is the center vein, which is the most predominant or the largest vein that you can see. So we'll just go right into a diagram of those three things. This is the petiole, and I'll try to get something to show you these parts. So this is the petiole. That's the tiny little stem that connects the leaf to the plant. The midrib, and I'll change over to red to show you the midrib, is going to be this main vein that runs up the center of the plant. It's going to be the biggest or largest vein. And then to show you the blade, we will use yellow. So all this part here is the blade of the leaf. It's basically just the surface. Okay? Now here are some examples of some different leaf crops. So leaves are grown, and you may think, well, hey, leaves are just a part of the plant where photosynthesis takes place. The flower is the most important part, but that's not necessarily true. Leaves are where the food is made, but we also eat leaves. So if you eat spinach, which is here, or cabbage, or what appears to be lettuce, more lettuce, then you eat leaves. Alright, so that's all that we're going to go over today. We'll save stems for tomorrow. So just a quick review. Main three parts of the leaf: the petiole, the blade, the midrib. Tissues of the leaf: you have the cuticle, the waxy substance. You have the mesophyll, spongy and palisade layer where the chloroplast is located, where photosynthesis takes place. You have the stomata and the guard cells, and that opens and closes to allow gases to come in and out of the leaf for processes like photosynthesis and respiration. And you also have vascular bundles. Vascular bundles will be your xylem and phloem. Your xylem flows up, carrying water and minerals up the plant. The phloem flows down, carrying food made during photosynthesis to other parts of the plant. The functions of the leaves, or leaves. I don't know why I keep saying leaves. That is not grammatically correct. It's leaf meaning one leaf, or leaves meaning lots of leaves. So excuse me if I have said that wrong. I'm kind of nervous because I don't normally record myself. Alright, leaves are located on the plant, and they make food through photosynthesis, and they also are where gas exchange occurs. Respiration we talk about in our next unit, and we talk more about photosynthesis in our next unit. Leaves are also where food is stored after it's made, and of course that food is in the form of sugar. The four main parts of the plant we'll be talking about this week: the leaves we talked about today, the stem, the roots, and the flowers. Alright, so that's basically all for today. I know this is a little weird, and I'm hopefully going to improve and make these presentations more entertaining. But, oh, here's something cool. My dog is right beside me now. So, this is Sherman. This is my baby. Hello, give me a kiss. So you get to see him when I do recordings at home. Thank you, and we will answer some questions together once everyone's finished watching the slideshow.